Hey guys, Josh at Double Edge Sharpening, and I've got a video here where we're dealing with some left-handed shears. How do you tell if they're left-handed if you're not really paying attention? Well, look at the tang. What side is the tang on when you're looking right at it? It's on the left side. These are left-handed shears. Right-handed shears would have the blade tang side on top and going to the right. When I haven't paid attention or haven't done my review of what kind of shears they are, there's been times where I've taken left-handed shears, put them in the right hand, go to test cut them, and I'm like, these things aren't cutting at all. What the heck? But then you realize, oh, they're left-handed, and the way shears are made in the geometry, it's amazing. You put them in the left hand, do the same thing, they work. Put them in the right hand, they don't work. So you got to watch out for that. Working these shears, it's exactly the same. We're going to use the lapping stone for the ride line, except instead of the right side, going to use the left side. Instead of going right on the flat hone, we're actually going to go left and change the angle, or just flip the guide on it. But the other thing I want to make this video for is to show that there's actually an issue with these shears. And if we close them really slow, right there, it catches. They stop and you can feel it rough and click. Not sure if you can see it, but actually there's a shiny speck right here at the tip on the blade. There is a nick on both sides, because usually when there's a nick on one side, it starts causing damage on the other. So we've got to work these shears so that there's no nick and that it won't cause any further damage as the shears close, and also it'll be rough and maybe even pulling the hair. So let's take this apart and sharpen up. Now, again, I can't see what you're seeing because I've got this thing strapped to my head with my phone in it. So I'm going to pause and take a look, make sure I am recording properly and that you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, so we seem to be recording fine. We didn't do a test cut. Let's do the test cut here. Wet single piece of tissue. Make sure it's in the left hand here. Thumb out, no side pressure. Boom, won't cut and it's crunchy. Even dry, let's see. No, even dry, it won't go through. So this shear is ready for sharpening. All right, so again, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So we're gonna take this shear apart and we're gonna work it all the way down the blade. Now, typically you want to try to take as least amount of metal out of normally me and my words, you want to take the least amount of metal out of a shear when you're sharpening, because you want that thing to last. Literally all you need to do is raise a burr. You don't need to take a whole bunch of metal off, but in this case we got to take enough metal off that we're getting rid of the nick on both sides. There's been times where I've gone to work on shears with nicks, and again, I don't want to take too much metal off. Oh, I need a paper towel. I don't want to take too much metal off, but then what ends up happening is I actually been a little bit too cautious in how much metal I take off, and I've had to go back and redo the shear on the hone a couple times because I didn't take enough out. So the first thing we want to do is mark the inside of the blade, the ride line. This just helps show when I work it where the blade may not be touching or having issues or alignment. So again, wet the stone, left-handed shear. If I did this, it'd be backwards. We want to make sure we're here. Again, pressure on the pivot, and we work up and down, back and forth. Now, I'm a right-handed person, so left-handed, a little bit awkward, but you get used to it. Okay, let's put it under the light. Let's see here. Do we have a ride line all the way? Yeah, it's actually pretty even. A little bit weak near the rear here. Could work it a bit more. But other than that, it's pretty even all the way across. Okay, work it again, check it. Yeah, we got the ride line all the way across. Again, not exactly sure how much you can see. I hope you can get a good view on it. So now we do the other blade. Same thing, pressure over the pivot. And we work our way up and down, up and down, up and down, even pressure. And check it out. Okay, so we've got it all the way across and then back here and a little bit at the rear. Again, I hope you can see that. So we'll maybe just work that part. Again, pressure still over the pivot, but just kind of focusing on that area. And then all the way. All right, let's see. Still, which means maybe we're kind of, the shear could be twisted a bit, but we can work it. We can work it. We just need that ride line to be nice and smooth, because that's where essentially the blades pivot at that end and cross and give that nice smooth feeling. We're getting there, but still a little weak there. Which means the shears probably, there could be, again, there's sometimes it could be out of alignment a bit. Could be a factory issue where it just, sometimes that happens. Sometimes there's an issue with the actual metal or alignment when they do it. But if we keep working it, it's starting to go, starting to get better. All right, let's work the blade. We're gonna sharpen it up now. All right, so now I'm gonna mark the edge of the blade. This way it helps me know I'm matching the angle. All right, left-handed. Typically, this is R for right, and those two match up. In this case, we're gonna loosen it and go all the way to left and line the L with that up, and then get our angle. Start at 45 degrees or just a little under. See what the blade is like. Put it in back. It seems backwards, it's upside down, but it's still in the clamp the same way. Get some light on here. And now we're on this side of the hone, and we're gonna roll it that way. Not quite a 40-degree angle. Nope. Or 45, sorry. Maybe we'll try it be a little lower, maybe. Nope. No, it's even a shallower, so this has been sharpened at a shallower angle. So we get to I get to choose how much metal do we want to take off. 35 degrees seems pretty low slope for this shear, but that's kind of where it's at. So how much metal do we want to take off? You know what? We're going to go up a little bit. We're going to kind of split the difference. So now we're going left. Ooh, that's way too fast. Bring it down. All right. So again, we just want to raise a burr. All the way across. We don't need to take off a lot of metal, but in this case, we do want to take off enough. Now, in my last couple of videos, my last couple sharpenings, I said I might need to change this this pad out because it's been used for a lot of shears and it's getting maybe a little worn. And the other thing too is I might actually go down a grit just to get that. Again, don't forget left. Get so used to the right. So again, we're working the whole blade evenly. We also want to make sure we get a burr, and I got a burr. Have we gotten rid of that nick? Just a little bit more than this one. Okay, we got it out of that one. Now, if we left it like this, we'd basically have beveled out this shear. We need to reconvex it. Always, always, always. All the way down the blade. Full length of the blade. You can lose a lot of metal if you use the wrong type of equipment. And you bevel out, fully bevel out, a convex blade. Not bad, a little bit at the back. So, make sure we get the whole length of the blade evenly. From the back to the front, and convex it right to the edge. That got it. Alright, now we're not going to do much more. We're just going to work our way up the grit. And again, we've got that burr race, so now we're just kind of polishing the edge as we go up. And this process is pretty much the same no matter what length of shear, right or left. If there's an issue, it just might take a little bit of work. If there's no issue, it actually will be a lot quicker because you're not having to remove as much metal. I had a shear the other day that it was a nice small shear, very short, but super sharp. It was at a 50-degree angle, which is really, really sharp and really nice. And the lady had literally just bought it. And she's like, oh, I got a nick in it, and basically she didn't want a bunch of metal taken out of it. She didn't want a lot done to it. And I was like, well, listen, give it to me. We'll do it at a low speed. We'll get that nick out. Keep it at that nice sharp edge, and it'll be just the same. I had to do it 3 times because I was a little bit, like I said, over cautious to remove too much metal for her. But I was so overcautious that I wasn't quite getting deep enough to remove the nick. But you know what? I'd rather be overcautious. It's like, and not take enough metal off each time than take too much metal off in one sitting and then go, oh shoot, and have the client not very happy. But I'm not a hairdresser or a stylist, but my wife used to cut my hair for a bit because in college my hair grows pretty fast. Well, not just in college. My hair grows pretty fast, and so I need a haircut like at least once a month, and I was just kind of like, you know what, why don't you learn to cut? And I said, you can always just take a little off, and if it's not enough, take a little bit more off. Better that and doing it taking longer than taking too much off in one sitting. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're removing the burr that we created on here, and this time I just like to work backwards. I just like to work it back on the lapping stone. And we work that to get the burr away, but then make sure we still have that established ride line, which we do. Now we're going to polish it. I'm going to polish the blade up and get rid of any kind of lasting burr that might be left there. And polishing, this is a felt pad. I've got a 3-micron diamond paste on here, and we basically just do the same thing, rolling it like we do when we convex a blade. Get all those scratches out. We don't wait. I also don't leave it on its edge very long. You don't want to dull it out, but we do want to polish that edge up as well. So then I just 1 or 2 little swipes over. Is that? Oh, look at that shiny. Whew, look at that. Okay, now just in case there's any other burr, I'm just gonna work my way here, do it a couple more times, and after this I usually find it actually feels a lot smoother on the stone after we've removed the burr and sharpened it up. And now this blade is done. Let's see. I don't feel any nick there, so we did it. All right, so that's one blade. I'm gonna go do the second one, come back when we put it together and test it out. All right, we're back. We've got them both sharpened up here, and after feeling them, I don't feel any nick. There was actually the largest part of the nick was actually in the tang part here. So I had to remove quite a bit. Again, not crazy amount, but a lot. And now you can see, again, hopefully, it's shiny all the way across the ride line. There's actually no nick anymore. So we're going to put these back together now. And left-handed shears kind of always screw with me, but usually it's pretty similar. Washer in, screw, square screw into the circular hole, and this is backwards to me because left I usually do it the other way. Put back in the clicker plate, external clicker plate, face mounting clicker plate. And then we're going to put the screw back on. Hey, is it these half? Oh no, this one's a full one. There's certain screws that only have threads kind of on both sides. It's not a full circular screw, and I just, it's a pain to put on. All right, so we get the tension on it pretty much open and closed, but before we do that, I want to cut it on something a little thicker to remove any burr that's left. There we go. Okay, check the tension. Seems pretty good. All right, let's wet test it here again. Left-handed here. I'm already prepping for a right-handed cut. Left-handed. All right. Open, finger out. Can you see it? Smooth, like butter. Cutting wet. Smooth. No chunkiness. Hopefully you can see this test cut. Look at that. These are ready. Left-handed shear, nick gone. Thanks guys for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Double Edge Sharpening. We'll see you guys later.